The familial conflict involving 1,000-pound sisters star Amy Slayton has escalated to legal proceedings as her husband Brian declines to assume accountability. Amy Slayton, a prominent figure from the reality series 1,000-Pound Sisters, is presently experiencing a significant familial crisis. Her spouse, Brian Lovvorn, has unequivocally stated his disinterest in assuming any responsibility for Amy's offspring. Amy's elder sister, Tammy Slayton, has voiced intense indignation regarding the situation and has been compelled to pursue legal recourse. Tammy asserted, "No one is permitted to interfere with my sister's life. If Brian weds Amy, he cannot be held accountable for her offspring. I desire this trial to be equitable and just. The matter is currently under judicial review. Regardless of the court's ruling, both Amy and Brian must comply with it." This situation has elicited apprehensions among the show's fans, as the well-being of Amy's child and her mental health are now significantly uncertain. The court's ruling and its implications for the Slayton family remain uncertain. Initially, it resembled a fairy tale. Amy Slayton, the lively and optimistic protagonist of 1,000-Pound Sisters, believed she had discovered her happy ending with Brian Lovvorn. He was initially charming and supportive, promising to construct a future not only for her but also for her children. However, that dream swiftly deteriorated into a far more sinister reality. Several months after the marriage, Brian started to withdraw from Amy's son, Gage, and the infant Glenn. He declined to assist with nocturnal feedings, neglected medical visits, and ultimately vacated the residence, asserting, "Those children are not my responsibility." Amy was distraught. She had exerted considerable effort to reconstruct her life, shedding weight, cultivating confidence, and embracing motherhood with pride. However, suddenly feeling forsaken, overburdened, and emotionally fractured, she sought solace in the one individual she trusted most, her sister, Tammy. Tammy underwent a significant transformation over the past year. After shedding over 500 pounds, she became increasingly resolute, protective, and outspoken. When Amy wept in her living room, detailing how Brian had abandoned them for weeks and declined to offer any financial or emotional assistance for the children, Tammy reacted sharply. "No one abandons my sister in that manner," she spat. "You cannot marry her and subsequently disregard the children." Tammy entered the county courthouse the following morning, pulling Amy along. She submitted a petition against Brian, insisting he be held responsible, if not as a father, then as a partner who made verbal and emotional commitments. The story rapidly garnered media attention. Fans inundated social media with hashtags. TLC issued a statement asserting, "We are closely monitoring the Slayton family's circumstances and support their right to pursue justice." Within the courtroom, tensions escalated. Brian's attorney contended that he had not legally adopted Amy's children and thus had no obligations. Conversely, Tammy presented video clips from the show, Instagram posts, and text messages in which Brian expressed affection for his boys and vowed to be the father figure they deserve. Amy, trembling on the witness stand, stated emotionally, "I did not request him to be their biological father. I merely asked him to be present, to participate, and he assured me he would." Judge Mallory Grant, a stern yet compassionate adjudicator, approached the case with gravity. She mandated a comprehensive investigation into Brian's financial assets, intentions, and conduct throughout the marriage. Additionally, she decreed temporary shared custody of the children, granting Amy full physical custody while reserving the court's discretion regarding Brian's visitation rights and support obligations. As the trial advanced, other facts emerged. Brian had purportedly been involved with another woman, whom he encountered on social networking, and had cohabited with her while Amy endured her struggles in isolation. This incensed Tammy further. In a passionate courtroom exchange, Tammy directly confronted the judge. "The Slaytons may have erred, but we do not forsake family. Brian made commitments to those boys. He assured my sister he would be present. And now he seeks to disengage? Absolutely not while I am here." Following a 3-week trial, the court ultimately rendered a verdict. Brian was mandated to remit monthly spousal and child support. not as a legal father, but pursuant to the doctrine of equitable estoppel, which acknowledged his emotional and financial investment during the marriage. The court recognized his involvement in the children's lives and underscored the harm resulting from his abandonment. Amy, engulfed in relief, embraced Tammy while tears cascaded down her cheeks. "You rescued me once more," she murmured. Tammy grinned while embracing her. That is the essence of sisterhood. Outside the courthouse, admirers and reporters congregated around them. When inquired about her feelings, Tammy succinctly responded, "This issue transcends Amy. It pertains to every woman abandoned to rear children alone by a man who promised to remain. We struggled, and we triumphed." Amy remarked softly, "This is merely the commencement. For me, for my sons, for all of us." The Slayton sisters departed hand in hand, not fractured, but more resilient than ever. Nevertheless, Amy Slayton of 1000 LB Sisters alludes to a surprising relationship development with Brian in light of her recent baby announcement. Amy Slayton, a star of 1000 LB Sisters, has hinted at a significant development in her contentious relationship with Brian Lovvorn following the birth of their new baby. Amy gained prominence alongside her sister Tammy Slayton as they chronicled their weight loss journeys. After undergoing bariatric surgery, she lost over 120 pounds, fulfilling her aspiration of motherhood. She married Michael Halterman in 2019, and the couple had 2 sons, Gage and Glenn. However, their marriage encountered difficulties, culminating in a separation in 2023. Amy introduced Scott as her boyfriend in Season 7 of 1000 LB Sisters. Amy was occupied with wedding preparations during Season 7 of 1000 LB Sisters, even amidst her sister's precarious surgery. It seems Amy may have married her new partner, Brian, off-camera. She recently posted a picture with a fan who purchased a piece of her artwork, expressing gratitude for Katie's acquisition and noting it was her inaugural sale. Notably, in the comments, Amy stated, "I'm in the works of a website. Be on the lookout for Amy Lovvorn Creations," implying she has adopted Brian's surname. Amy encountered Brian at a concert in the park in 2024. Initially, she did not experience an immediate attraction. However, Brian persuaded her to accept a date, leading to a swift and profound connection. Their relationship advanced rapidly, culminating in Brian's proposal to Amy 5 months later in a haunted house in Henderson, Kentucky, thereby realizing her whimsical desire for a Halloween-themed engagement. The proposal included a Gothic-style ring featuring skeleton hands forming a heart, symbolizing their mutual appreciation for the eerie and unconventional. They also adopted a pet snake, affectionately referring to it as their baby. Amy selected a haunted asylum as the venue for her Halloween-themed wedding. However, Tammy opposed this choice due to the venue's negative energy and firmly declined to attend the ceremony. It seems that Amy and Brian were scheduled to marry in October 2024, after which she would adopt his surname. It remains unclear whether Amy subsequently altered the wedding venue to accommodate her sister's concerns, a possibility that may have been documented for the 8th season of 1000 LB Sisters. Amy must exercise caution to avoid violating her NDA by publicly disclosing her marital status. However, her adoption of Brian's surname reveals the information. She seemingly remains in a relationship with Brian, which has raised concerns among numerous 1000 LB Sisters viewers. Fans believe their relationship has progressed too rapidly, and Brian has already exhibited multiple warning signs. Given Amy's previous distressing divorce, viewers fear she may experience further emotional pain if this marriage fails. Nevertheless, Amy Slayton's recent photograph in 1000 LB Sisters raises health concerns following the announcement of her new baby. A recent photograph of 1000 LB Sisters star Amy Slayton has elicited concern among fans, prompting inquiries regarding her health status. Amy articulated a profound aspiration to become a mother, which catalyzed her weight loss endeavor. She gave birth to 2 sons, Gage in 2020 and Glenn in 2022. Her marriage to Michael Halterman concluded in 2023 following his petition for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. The couple has been embroiled in ongoing custody and domestic disputes. Amy, a participant in 1000 LB Sisters Season 7, has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, as well as depression and acute stress associated with her divorce. Amy is occupied with preparations for her wedding in Season 7 of 1000 LB Sisters. Nevertheless, supporters believe she should prioritize her own well-being and that of her children first. Reddit user ibeg_2differ shared a screenshot of Amy from the show, depicting her holding a tub with her right hand, which exhibited dirt beneath her fingernails. The user remarked, "Observing her sip from a 32-ounce cup with such unkempt nails? This is not an isolated incident. It reflects a recurring issue." They further stated, "Fundamental hygiene is crucial, particularly when caring for young children." Additionally, Strange Meeting 7451 noted, "I observed the condition of her nails during their engagement and when she signed the plea deal." Rosy Cheeks 32 commented, "This leads me to believe she is grappling with depression." Amy has candidly disclosed her mental health journey, including a recent diagnosis of bipolar disorder following a significant emotional outburst during a trip with her sisters. She indicated that the diagnosis provided clarity regarding her behavior, recognizing it as more than mere random outbursts. Amy also discussed her experiences with depression and acute stress, particularly in relation to her divorce. She acknowledged that her mental health challenges were affecting not only herself, but also her children. Amy has since commenced therapy, which she reported has positively influenced her well-being, enabling her to feel happier and more in command of her emotions. Observers have noted a transformation in Amy's appearance. Previously, she maintained manicured nails, dyed hair, and fashionable attire. However, she now frequently presents with unkempt nails and a disheveled bun. Speculation suggests she may have regained weight, reversing her prior efforts. She seems to disregard self-care and becomes emotional when faced with criticism. Recently, her attention has shifted towards wedding planning, potentially in the hope that her new relationship will provide stability. Nonetheless, should Brian cause her emotional distress, the repercussions could be severe. Amy must implement enduring changes for her own well-being and, crucially, for the sake of her children. Fans of 1000 LB Sisters are concerned about Amy's well-being. Numerous Reddit users have observed her heightened emotional state, suggesting she may be grappling with depression. Some believe she frequently seeks support yet fails to fully acknowledge her responsibilities. Additionally, others have remarked on the bruises visible on her legs in recent photographs, heightening worries regarding potential health issues or side effects from medication. Amy has expressed her intention to prioritize her mental health and weight loss in 2024. Nonetheless, fans remain uncertain about her ability to care for herself amidst her numerous personal and emotional challenges. Nonetheless, the morning sun illuminated Tammy Slayton's new apartment in Kentucky. The air was invigorating, the place felt more spacious, and so did Tammy, in multiple respects. For the majority of her existence, Tammy resided in the confines of her own physique. At her peak weight, she exceeded 700 pounds. Medical professionals cautioned her that she might not survive to celebrate her next birthday. Each breath was arduous, and every movement was a struggle. However, today marked a significant transformation. "I have lost 500 pounds, Tammy murmured into the mirror, tears brimming in her eyes. "I accomplished it." The expedition proved arduous. The journey to transformation was arduous, fraught with suffering, uncertainty, and instances where surrender appeared more feasible than persevering. Following a near-fatal incident and an extended hospitalization, Tammy resolved to make a life-altering decision. She enrolled in a specialized weight loss center in Ohio. Amy, her sister, stood by her, grasping her hand as Tammy executed the documents. Amy had informed her, her voice trembling with emotion, "You are stronger than you realize. You are currently unaware." During the initial weeks, Tammy experienced significant mobility limitations. She wept herself to slumber, yearning for home, longing for comfort food, and lamenting the persona that was unburdened by harsh realities. Each morning, a nurse called Carla would welcome her with a kind grin. "You are not solitary, Tammy. Progress incrementally." Tammy indeed took that move. Months elapsed into a year. The scales reading decreased, gradually, then swiftly. Tammy adopted a new diet, commenced aquatic therapy, and participated in group psychotherapy. She disclosed her trauma, her anxieties, and her frequent reliance on food as a defense mechanism. Through perspiration, anguish, and unwavering determination, she lost the weight, and with it, the layers of self-doubt that had enveloped her for decades. Having lost 500 pounds, Tammy exited the clinic for the final time clad in well-fitting jeans and a vibrant purple blouse that accentuated her transformed physique. Reporters and admirers congregated, cameras illuminating the scene, although Tammy focused just on one individual, Amy. Amy rushed towards her, tears cascading. "You appear exceptional, Tam. Furthermore, you are extraordinary." Tammy exhibited a smile. "I am finally experiencing life, Amy. Merely existing. Existence." Tammy's narrative motivated countless individuals. She initiated a YouTube channel to document her ongoing progress, delivered speeches at body positivity events, and created a plus-size athletic business named Tamstrong. One evening, while Tammy and Amy stood on the porch observing the sunset, Tammy softly remarked, "If I could converse with my former self, I would say, 'You are worth the struggle.' Always remember that." Nevertheless, on a luminous Monday morning in Dixon, Kentucky, Amy Slayton was on a quest. A task encompassing cosmetics, coordinated attire, and the Department of Motor Vehicles. "We are finally having our passport photos taken," she said from the kitchen, as Tammy gradually entered on her electric scooter. Tammy arched an eyebrow. "Pardon, what?" "No one informed me that a camera would be present today. I appear as though I had engaged in a losing battle with a raccoon." Amy chuckled, brandishing a makeup brush in one hand while cradling baby Glenn in the other. "We are traveling to Europe. Do you believe the Queen of England will permit you entry while appearing in that manner?" Tammy emitted a grunt. "The Queen is deceased. Secondly, why was I not alerted sooner?" Amy pulled Tammy into the bathroom and commenced her cosmetic artistry. Tammy was displeased. "Amy, why are you attempting to contour my nose? You are aware that my nose is essentially its own zip code." "Tammy, this marks your international debut. Your passport photo may be scrutinized by border security in France." Following 45 minutes of disputation, laughter, and excessive glitter, both sisters emerged resembling reality television royalty. Tammy's hair was styled into a bun, while Amy donned her passport princess t-shirt with pride. "Let us proceed," Tammy exhaled, turning towards the van. The photography studio was situated in the corner of a strip mall. Within, a visibly anxious photographer calibrated his lights as the sisters entered. "Are you prepared for the photographs?" he inquired. Tammy arched an eyebrow. "Sir, I was prepared from birth, just not at this moment." Amy assumed a position reminiscent of a runway model. "Do I appear as though I'm heading to Italy?" "It resembles Jersey Shore," Tammy remarked. The photographer cleared his throat. "All right, no smiling. Only a neutral expression." Amy halted abruptly. "No smiling? But that is my trademark expression." Tammy narrowed her eyes at the camera. "May I at least elevate one eyebrow? Infuse it with some sass." Amy gazed at the screen. "Ugh, I appear as though I am sought by the FBI." Tammy leaned forward. "That is superior to my appearance. I resemble someone poised to devour the photographer." In the van, holding their official passport applications, Amy and Tammy commemorated the occasion with a brief visit to Sonic. "I can hardly believe we have accomplished it," Amy remarked while sipping her slushie. "Our next destination, Paris." Tammy scoffed. "The only Eiffel Tower I will ascend is an image of it on a t-shirt." Amy grinned. "It is inconsequential. We are destined for success, sister." Tammy acquiesced. One passport photograph at a time. They toasted with their beverages, the expansive sky before them brimming with aspirations, journeys, and potentially some intrigue abroad. Nonetheless, the day in Kentucky was intended to be tranquil, characterized by the sun's gentle warmth on the porch and the melodic chirping of cicadas. However, within the Slayton family residence, the ambience was far from serene. Tammy occupied her recliner, arms firmly crossed over her chest, her expression inscrutable, yet evidently tempestuous. Opposite her, Amanda fidgeted anxiously, shifting her weight from one foot to the other. The atmosphere between them was laden with unresolved tension. "Tammy, I am making an effort, understood?" Amanda stated cautiously. "I acknowledge that I expressed some severe remarks last week, but I was apprehensive. I did not wish to witness you traverse that path once more." Tammy's jaw clenched. Her eyes shimmered with repressed anger. "You consistently presume to know what is best for me," she retorted. "Yet all you do is criticize." Amanda exhaled deeply and approached, extending her hands as a gesture of reconciliation. "No one is criticizing you, sister. I simply desire your well-being. I long for our former connection. I reminisce about the nights we laughed together. Do you recall that evening we stayed up watching horror films and prank calling Misty?" However, Tammy remained resolute. Her wrath had been festering for days, perhaps even weeks. Amanda's intentions, however benevolent, felt like an aggravation to past grievances. "Do you believe that a singular pleasant memory compensates for your condescending remarks directed at me in front of others?" Tammy's voice trembled, oscillating between fury and profound anguish. "You rendered me feel like a mockery, Amanda. Like an unbearable encumbrance." Amanda's eyes filled with tears, although she refrained from interjecting. Tammy exerted herself to rise from her recliner, propelled by anger. "You wish to reconcile? It is too late. I am finished with this insincere family." "Tammy, halt, please," Amanda implored, her voice trembling. Tammy had already rushed past her, seizing her handbag from the kitchen counter. She forcefully flung the front door wide, causing it to slam against the wall. "I require space," she snarled. "And do not pursue me this time." The screen door slammed shut, and the porch trembled as she descended the steps and into her car. With a roar of the engine, she departed, leaving Amanda alone and unsettled in the living room. Amy cautiously observed from the hallway, her eyes filled with apprehension. "Do you believe she will return?" she inquired gently. Amanda brushed her fingers across her face, her voice scarcely audible. "I am uncertain, Amy. Truly, I am." Unbeknownst to them, Tammy, despite her anger, had departed not to flee, but to contemplate. An hour later, she found herself alone in a Walmart parking lot, seated in the driver's seat with her head in her hands. Amanda's words reverberated in her mind. A portion of her desired to remain perpetually enraged. However, deep within, the prospect of irrevocably losing Amanda pained her more than the dispute itself. Occasionally, healing cannot be achieved via a singular apology. It often necessitates a tumultuous event to purify the atmosphere. Greetings, esteemed viewers. Welcome to my channel. I am Mina, and I hope your day is going splendidly. If you enjoy the video, please remember to subscribe to the channel.